Have you ever pondered the origins of the Santa Claus legend? It's a question that's puzzled historians and folklore enthusiasts for centuries. Now let's take a moment to imagine a story not of a jolly man from the North Pole, but of Arctic shamans and a peculiar type of mushroom. Intrigued? You should be. This story begins with a theory proposed by anthropologist John Rush, who suggests a connection between Santa Claus, his reindeer, and hallucinogenic mushrooms. Yes, you heard it right, mushrooms. But not just any mushrooms, these are the Amanita muscaria, also known as fly agaric, found beneath the pine trees of Siberia and the Arctic region. According to Rush, Arctic shamans would distribute these hallucinogenic mushrooms as gifts during the winter solstice. The snow would often block the doors, forcing the shamans to enter homes through the chimney. Sound familiar? Well, it should. This tradition eerily mirrors our modern-day image of Santa Claus. Moreover, these shamans were known to dress in red suits with white spots, mirroring the appearance of the fly agaric mushroom. And their spirit animals? Reindeer. It's believed that the ingestion of these mushrooms led to hallucinations of flying reindeer, tying in with the enchanting narrative of Santa and his flying companions. While some historians dispute these connections, others argue that the association of shamans with reindeer spirits and the tradition of consuming hallucinogenic mushrooms are well documented. The poem A Visit from St. Nicholas is even thought to have drawn inspiration from these Northern European motifs related to shamanic traditions. So as we delve deeper into this fascinating theory, prepare to embark on a journey that will unravel the unexpected links between the jolly man in red, his flying companions, and a certain type of mushroom. To understand Santa, we must first travel to the snowy expanses of Siberia and the Arctic region. It is here that we find the heart of our story in the ancient practices of local shamans. These spiritual leaders played a crucial role in their communities, providing guidance, healing, and a connection to the spiritual world. But one of their practices is particularly intriguing, especially when we start drawing connections to our jolly man in red. Every winter solstice, these shamans would embark on a unique ritual involving a very special kind of gift: hallucinogenic mushrooms. Now, this isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. These mushrooms, known as fly agarics, were revered for their ability to induce visions and spiritual experiences. Shamans would gather these mushrooms and distribute them as gifts to their communities. But how, you might ask, did they deliver these gifts? Not by sleigh and reindeer, but through a more practical means, considering the heavy snowfall blocking the doors of homes in these regions. They would climb onto the roof and descend through the chimney to deliver their gifts. Now, let's take a moment to think about their attire. These shamans weren't dressed in animal skins or cloaks, but in red suits speckled with white spots, a fashion choice inspired by the very mushrooms they held in such high regard. So, let's recap. We have an Arctic spiritual leader distributing gifts on the winter solstice, entering homes through the chimney, all while dressed in a red and white suit. These Arctic shamans with their red and white attire are starting to sound a lot like our Santa, aren't they? At the heart of this theory lies a peculiar mushroom, the Amanita muscaria. Now, this isn't your everyday button mushroom from the grocery store. The Amanita muscaria, also known as the fly agaric, is a mushroom that commands attention. It sports a vibrant red cap dotted with white spots, a striking image that almost seems plucked from a fairy tale. Its distinct appearance has made it a popular subject in art and literature, but its story intertwines with the narrative of Christmas in a fascinating way. This mushroom has a special relationship with pine trees. You see, the Amanita muscaria is a mycorrhizal fungus, which means it forms a mutually beneficial relationship with the roots of certain trees, particularly pines. The mushroom helps the tree absorb water and nutrients, while the tree provides the mushroom with sugars. So, it's no surprise that you'll often find these red and white mushrooms nestled beneath pine trees. Now, think about a classic Christmas scene. What's standing tall in the living room, festooned with lights and ornaments? A pine tree, of course. The Christmas tree tradition is thought to have originated in Germany and spread across the world. And underneath this symbol of Christmas, we're likely to find gifts wrapped in vibrant paper and ribbons. But if we trace the tradition back to its roots, we might expect to see the vibrant red and white of the Amanita muscaria instead. The Amanita muscaria's connection to Christmas doesn't stop at the tree. The mushroom's red and white color scheme is eerily similar to Santa's iconic suit, and it's not just a coincidence. It's thought that Siberian shamans dressed in red and white, mimicking the appearance of this sacred mushroom. So the next time you see a Christmas tree or a jolly man in a red suit, you might think back to the Amanita muscaria. This humble mushroom nestled beneath pine trees in the cold winter months has woven its way into the fabric of our holiday traditions. So beneath every Christmas tree, we might find a hint to Santa's true origins. How, you might ask, do reindeer fit into this story? Well, let's gallop into the frosty landscapes of Siberia and Northern Europe, where reindeer roam freely, integral to the cultures that thrive in these icy realms. Here in the harsh, unforgiving cold, reindeer are not just animals. They are revered, respected, and regarded as spirit animals by the shamans. Shamans, the spiritual intermediaries between the human and spirit world, held reindeer in high esteem. They saw these resilient creatures as embodiments of strength, endurance, and survival, traits that were essential in the severe Arctic conditions. Reindeer were their spiritual companions, guiding them through their spiritual journeys, warding off evil spirits, and connecting them with the divine. Now, let's add mushrooms into the mix, specifically the Amanita muscaria mushroom, a hallucinogenic fungi common in these regions. When consumed, this mushroom could cause a variety of effects from euphoria and spiritual experiences to, you guessed it, hallucinations. Imagine a shaman in his red and white attire, symbolizing the Amanita muscaria mushroom, embarking on a spiritual journey. He consumes the mushroom, and as the effects take hold, he perceives his trusted spirit animal, the reindeer, soaring through the skies. The reindeer, usually earthbound and terrestrial, are now transcending realms, flying high above the ground. This hallucination, spurred by the ingestion of the Amanita muscaria mushroom, could very well be the origin of the fantastical idea of flying reindeer we associate with the Santa Claus legend. So, as you can see, reindeer are not just Santa's chosen mode of transport. They are deeply rooted in shamanic traditions, representing strength, endurance, and spiritual guidance. They are the bridge between the earthly and the divine, the real and the hallucinatory. Next time you hear hooves on the rooftop, consider the ancient spirits that might be visiting. Let's delve into the poem that might have drawn inspiration from these shamanic traditions. A tale we all know and cherish, A Visit from St. Nicholas, more commonly known as The Night Before Christmas, has been a staple of holiday festivities for generations. Yet, some believe that the poem's depiction of Santa Claus bears striking similarities to the Arctic shamans of old. Imagine the scene. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Suddenly, an unexpected visitor arrives just as the shamans would visit homes in the dead of winter. And how does this jolly old visitor enter the house? Down the chimney, of course, mirroring the shaman's practice of entering homes through the chimney when the doors were snowed in. And what about Santa's iconic red suit trimmed with white fur? It's an uncanny resemblance to the ceremonial dress of these shamans, who would don red and white garb, echoing the colors of the Amanita muscaria mushroom. And let's not forget the sack of presents. Just as Santa brings gifts for the children, the shamans would distribute these hallucinogenic mushrooms as gifts during the winter solstice. The poem's description of Santa's round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly, and his rosy cheeks could well be the side effects of consuming the Amanita muscaria. And the twinkling eyes, the merry dimples, the cheeks like roses, the nose like a cherry. All these jovial features align with the cheerful and euphoric state induced by the mushrooms. Lastly, the reindeer that pull Santa's sleigh through the sky might just be the reindeer spirits that the shamans believed in. The notion of them flying could be a hallucination from consuming these mushrooms. So, next time you read or listen to A Visit from St. Nicholas, consider the possibility that the beloved tale may be more than just a quaint holiday tradition. This poem, loved by many, might just be a poetic echo of ancient winter rituals. Finally, why does Santa reside in the North Pole? Now that's a question that has puzzled many a curious mind. This tradition, like many others associated with Santa Claus, has its roots deeply embedded in the shamanic practices of Siberia and the Arctic region. As we've explored, The story of Santa Claus is thought to be heavily influenced by the rituals of these Arctic shamans, who were known to distribute hallucinogenic mushrooms as gifts during the winter solstice. Now, imagine the landscape of Siberia in the winter. It's a place of vast frozen expanses, dotted with pine trees beneath which the Amanita muscaria mushroom can often be found. The doors of the traditional homes, known as yurts, would often be blocked by heavy snowfall, forcing the shamans to enter through the chimney to deliver their winter solstice gifts. It's not hard to see how this could have evolved into the story of Santa Claus. A jolly figure, dressed in red and white, entering homes through the chimney to leave gifts under the tree. And where else would such a figure reside but a place reminiscent of those frosty Siberian landscapes? That's right, the North Pole. This icy, remote location is the perfect symbol of the Arctic regions where these shamanic traditions originated. It's a place that embodies the harsh yet magical winter environment that the shamans would have navigated during their winter solstice rituals. While the North Pole might not be the first place you'd think to set up home, for Santa Claus, it's the perfect fit. The tradition of Santa's North Pole residence brings the story full circle, linking it back to its shamanic roots and providing a fitting backdrop to this unique Christmas legend. So the next time you picture Santa Claus in his North Pole workshop, remember the Arctic shamans and their ancient traditions. It appears Santa's home might be a nod to these Arctic shamans and their ancient traditions. So what have we learned about Santa, reindeer, and mushrooms? Quite a lot, it seems. We've unraveled an intriguing theory that traces the jolly figure of Santa Claus back to Arctic shamans, who were known to distribute hallucinogenic mushrooms as gifts during the winter solstice. These shamans, dressed in red suits with white spots reminiscent of the Amanita muscaria mushroom, would enter homes through the chimney, much like our modern-day Santa. These mushrooms, also known as fly agaric, are typically found beneath pine trees, hence the connection with Christmas iconography. And then we have the reindeer, common in Siberia and Northern Europe. These animals are considered the shaman's spirit animals, and the ingestion of these mushrooms may have given rise to hallucinations of flying reindeer. The theory even suggests that Santa's residence in the North Pole is a tradition that can be traced back to Siberia. A fascinating thought, isn't it? Next time you see Santa, remember the intriguing theory of his shamanic roots. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories. Happy holidays!